Hello, I'm here with you tonight. I know what night this is. This is your first night as a widow. Your husband died, and now you're lying here in a bed that feels impossibly large and unbearably empty. The space where he should be is just absence, just cold sheets and silence where there should be the sound of his breathing, the warmth of his body, the small movements he'd make settling into sleep. You're supposed to sleep tonight. That's what people do. The earth keeps turning, night follows day, and humans are supposed to close their eyes and rest. But how? How are you supposed to do something as ordinary as sleep when the most fundamental fact of your life has changed? When your person is gone, maybe he died suddenly. Maybe you got a phone call that split your life into before and after. Maybe you rushed to a hospital, or maybe you never got to say goodbye. Maybe it was an accident, a heart attack, something that gave no warning. One moment he existed in the world, and the next moment he didn't. And your brain can't reconcile those two truths. Or maybe he'd been sick. Maybe you watched him decline over months or years. Maybe you held his hand through treatments and surgeries, and hope and despair. Maybe you knew this was coming, saw it approaching like a storm on the horizon, and still you're not prepared. Still it's impossible. You can know something is coming and still not be ready for the moment it arrives. Maybe he died today. Maybe it was yesterday or the day before. Maybe you've barely had time to tell people, to make arrangements, to understand what happened. Your body is vibrating with shock, with the unreality of it all. You might be numb. You might be shattered. You might be cycling between both, feeling everything and nothing in alternating waves. Or maybe it's been a few days and you've been in motion, handling things, making decisions, notifying people, planning a funeral or memorial. Maybe you've been holding it together, functioning, doing what needs to be done. And now it's night and you're alone, and there's nothing left to do but be here in this reality. Your husband is dead, and you're still alive, and you have to get through this night somehow. You might be exhausted beyond anything you've ever felt. The kind of tired that goes deeper than your muscles and bones, that lives in your cells, that makes your whole body feel like it weighs 1,000 pounds. But tired doesn't mean you can sleep. Your mind won't stop. It keeps replaying moments, or searching for him, or trying to solve a problem that has no solution. Your body is alert, wired, waiting for something, even though there's nothing to wait for anymore. You might feel your heart beating too fast. You might feel tension in your chest, like there's a weight pressing down on you. Your throat might feel tight. You might notice you're clenching your jaw, or your fists, or your whole body is rigid with the effort of just existing through this. And beneath all of that, or maybe consuming all of that, is grief, is loss, is the staggering absence of the person who was woven into every part of your life. Your husband, your partner, the person who knew you, the person you built a life with, gone. So let me say this clearly. You're not supposed to be okay right now. You're not supposed to have perspective or peace or acceptance. You're not supposed to sleep easily. This is one of the hardest nights a human being can experience. The first night after losing your person. The first night of being a widow. The first night of the rest of your life without him. What we're going to do for the next hour is be here together with that truth. I'm not going to tell you it will be okay, because right now, it's not okay. I'm not going to tell you that you'll feel better soon, because grief doesn't work on a schedule. I'm not going to give you platitudes about strength or God's plan or everything happening for a reason. What I'm going to do is stay with you through this night. We're going to breathe together. We're going to bring some gentleness to your body, which is holding so much right now. We're going to acknowledge every feeling that's here, every fear, every memory, every impossible truth. And we're going to help your nervous system settle enough that maybe you can rest for a few hours. You don't have to sleep. You don't have to do anything right now. You just have to keep breathing and let time pass. And I'm going to help you do that. Let's start with breath. Not because breathing fixes grief. Not because a few deep breaths will make your husband's death less real or less devastating, but because your body needs oxygen. Because in this moment, when everything feels impossible, breathing is something you can do. It's something we can do together. Breathe in slowly through your nose. Count with me as you inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel the air moving through your nostrils. Feel it cool as it enters, traveling down into your throat, filling your lungs. Feel your rib cage expanding. Feel your belly rising as your diaphragm drops down. Let yourself fill completely with this breath. You're not doing it wrong. However the breath comes, that's right. Hold the breath at the top for just a moment. Pause there in the fullness. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice what that feels like. The suspension, the pause, and then release slowly through your mouth. Count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let the air flow out gradually. Don't force it. Just let it go. Feel your belly falling. Feel your chest lowering. Feel yourself emptying. And when you reach the bottom of the exhale, pause there too. Rest in that emptiness for a moment before the next breath comes. Let's do that again. In through your nose for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill yourself with air, with oxygen, with this most basic form of nourishment. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And out through your mouth for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The exhale is longer than the inhale. That's intentional. That longer exhale signals your nervous system that you're safe, even when everything feels dangerous and wrong. One more cycle. Breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Feel yourself settling just slightly with each exhale. Not fixing anything, not solving anything, just settling, just breathing, just here. Your body is working so hard right now, even lying still, even doing nothing. Your body is processing shock and loss and change. So let's check in with what your body is feeling right now. Not to fix it or change it, just to notice. Just to bring some awareness and gentleness to this body that's carrying you through the worst night of your life. Notice your head against the pillow, however it feels, heavy or light or numb or aching. Notice your face. Your forehead might be tight. Your jaw might be clenched. Your eyes might feel swollen from crying or dry from staying open too long. Just notice. Notice your neck and shoulders. They're probably carrying tension. Most of us hold our stress there. Your shoulders might be up near your ears. Your neck might feel stiff. Just notice that. You don't have to fix it right now. Notice your chest and your heart. This is probably where the pain lives most intensely. A physical ache, a pressure, a breaking. Your breath might feel shallow here, restricted. Notice that. Your stomach might feel tight or nauseous or empty. You might not have eaten today, or you might have eaten and felt nothing. Notice what's there. Notice your arms and hands. Are they tense? Are your fists clenched? Are you holding your phone, waiting for a message that won't come? Notice your legs. Are they restless? Are they heavy? Notice your feet. Are they cold? That's common in grief. Our extremities get cold when we're in shock. You're here. You're in this body that will carry you through this grief, one breath at a time. And for now, that's enough. You're breathing. You're here. That's all you have to do tonight. Every widow's story is different. Every marriage is different. Every death is different. Every loss is unique. So before we go further into this night together, I want to acknowledge the many different versions of the loss you're living through right now. Maybe you were married for 50 years. Maybe you met when you were young, built an entire life together, raised children, became grandparents. He was woven into every memory, every habit, every plan you ever made. Your whole adult life was shaped around being his wife. You've been a pair for so long that you don't know how to be singular. You don't know who you are without him. The loss isn't just him. It's the life you built together. It's the future you were supposed to have. It's growing old together, retiring together, being grandparents together. All of that died with him. You're not just grieving your husband. You're grieving 50 years of partnership and every year you were supposed to still have. That loss is enormous. That loss deserves all the space it needs. Or maybe your marriage was shorter. Maybe you'd been together 10 years, 15 years, 20. Maybe you still felt like you were building your life together. Maybe you had young children or teenagers. Maybe you were still in the phase of career building and house projects and planning vacations. The loss is different, but not less. You lost your co-parent, your partner in the daily chaos of life. You lost the person who shared the mental load, who knew which kid needed what, who remembered to pay which bills. You lost your future, the trips you were planning, the empty nest years you were going to enjoy, the person who was supposed to be there for all of it. And now you have to figure out how to do everything alone, including raising children who are also grieving. That loss is staggering. That loss is valid. Maybe your marriage was complicated. Maybe you loved him deeply, but it wasn't easy. Maybe there were problems you were working through. Maybe there had been infidelity or betrayal or struggles that hurt you both. Maybe you were in couples therapy. Maybe you'd separated and were trying to find your way back to each other. Maybe you'd grown apart over the years and you weren't sure if you'd make it. And now, he's dead, and there's no more chance to fix it or heal it or even end it properly. You don't get closure. You don't get to say the things you needed to say or hear the things you needed to hear. And your grief is complicated by anger, by regret, by unfinished business. People might expect you to only speak well of him now, to only remember the good. But your truth is more complex than that. You can love someone and be angry with them. You can grieve someone and still carry hurt from what they did. That complexity is real. That grief is legitimate. Maybe your marriage was troubled. Maybe there was addiction or mental illness or abuse. Maybe you were planning to leave, or maybe you'd been trying to survive. Maybe there's relief mixed with your grief, and that makes you feel guilty. Maybe you're mourning not just who he was, but who he could have been, who you needed him to be. Maybe you're grieving the marriage you deserved but never had. Maybe people don't understand why you're sad when they knew you were unhappy. But death doesn't erase history. It doesn't make the hard things less hard. And you can grieve even when the relationship was painful. You can miss someone even when they hurt you. That grief is real too. Or maybe you were married later in life. Maybe this was a second marriage for one or both of you. Maybe you found each other after loss or divorce, built something new together, proved that life could surprise you with joy, even after heartbreak. Maybe you blended families or kept your independence while still being partners. Maybe you knew this time was precious because you'd already lost someone before. And now you're losing again. You're being asked to survive a second widowhood, a second devastating loss. That's a particular kind of cruel. That's a particular kind of unfair. You don't get credit for having done this before. It doesn't hurt less the second time. It might hurt more because you know exactly how hard the road ahead is. Maybe you were married for just a few years. Maybe you were newlyweds or nearly newlyweds. Maybe you are still in that phase of learning each other, of being excited about building a life together. Maybe you are planning for children or had a baby. Maybe the loss feels especially cruel because you were just beginning, because you didn't get enough time, because this wasn't supposed to happen to young marriages. The unfairness of it is staggering. The future you lost stretches out for decades. All the years you should have had together, gone. That loss is immense. That loss is devastating. Or maybe yours was an unconventional marriage. Maybe you lived separately by choice, or you had an open relationship, or your partnership looked different from traditional marriages. Maybe people don't understand what you had, but you knew. You knew what he meant to you. You knew what you built together. And his death unmakes that world you created. Your grief is just as real, even if your marriage didn't look like everyone else's. Your loss matters just as much. Maybe he died peacefully. Maybe he was in hospice or at home, and you were with him. Maybe you got to say goodbye, to hold his hand, to tell him you loved him one more time. Maybe that brings some comfort, some sense that you did what you could. But it doesn't make him less gone. It doesn't make the loss easier. You still have to live without him now. Or maybe his death was traumatic. Maybe it was violent or sudden, or you witnessed it. Maybe the images won't leave your mind. Maybe you're not just grieving him, but also traumatized by how he died. That's a double burden. That's grief compounded by trauma. That requires extra gentleness, extra patience with yourself. However long you were married, however your marriage looked, however he died, your grief is real. Your loss is legitimate. You don't have to defend your pain or explain your relationship. You're a widow now. Your husband died. That's enough. That's everything. Let's breathe again. Because your nervous system needs regulation. Because your body needs support. Because breathing is what we do to stay alive, even when we're not sure we want to keep going. Breathe in through your nose. slow and steady. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A slightly longer inhale this time. Feel the air filling you. Feel your lungs expanding. Feel your belly rising. You're alive. Your body is working to keep you alive, even when your heart is shattered. Hold this breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feel the fullness. Feel the pause. And exhale through your mouth, long and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Longer than the inhale, letting everything go. Releasing, emptying. Again, in for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your breath is supporting you. Your breath is keeping you here. Hold for 5. Out for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With each exhale, imagine tension draining out of you. Not the grief. The grief stays, but some of the tension in your muscles, some of the tightness, can soften slightly. One more. In for a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold for 5. Out for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're here. You're doing this. You're surviving the first night. Now let's bring attention to your whole body. Let's visit each part with gentleness and acknowledgement. Your body has been through so much. Let's offer it some care. Start at the crown of your head, the very top. Notice if there's any sensation there, tingling or pressure, or nothing at all. Move your attention down to your scalp, the skin covering your skull. Maybe there's tension there. Maybe your whole head aches. Notice without judgment. Down to your forehead now. This is where we often hold worry and stress. Your forehead might be creased. Your eyebrows might be drawn together. See if you can soften there just slightly. Not erasing anything, just softening. Your eyes. They might be tired or swollen or burning. They might feel heavy. They might have cried so many tears today that they're dry and scratchy. Whatever they feel, acknowledge that. Your eyes have seen so much. Your cheeks and nose, your mouth. Are your lips pressed together? Is your tongue tense? Notice your jaw. This is a place many of us hold tremendous tension. You might be clenching without realizing it. See if you can let your jaw be loose. Let your teeth part slightly. Let your tongue rest softly in your mouth. Your throat. This might feel tight. You might feel like there's something stuck there, like you can't swallow. That's common in grief. The throat constricts. Notice that tightness. Breathe into it gently. Your neck holding up your heavy head. Your neck might be stiff or sore. The back of your neck, the sides, the front. Notice all of it. Your shoulders, these faithful carriers of burden. Your shoulders are probably up near your ears right now. They're probably tight and hard. See if you can let them drop just a millimeter. Not a big release, just a tiny bit. And if they won't drop, that's okay too. They're protecting you. They're holding you together. Thank them for that. Down your upper arms, your biceps and triceps. Any tension there? Any heaviness? Your elbows, your forearms, the muscles that run from elbow to wrist. Are they tight? Your wrists themselves. And your hands. Your faithful hands that have done so much today. Maybe they're clenched. Maybe they're clutching the blanket or the pillow or your phone. Maybe they ache from holding things too tightly. Notice your palms, the backs of your hands, each finger, all the way to the tips. Can you soften your hands even slightly? Let them rest. Come to your chest now, your ribs holding your heart and lungs. Feel your chest rising and falling with breath. Notice your heart beating. Your heart that's broken and still beating. Your heart that keeps going even when you wish it would stop. Feel the physical sensation there, the ache, the pressure, the weight. Your heart is doing the impossible work of continuing to pump blood through your body while simultaneously shattering from loss. Acknowledge that. Honor that. Your upper back between your shoulder blades. Notice if there's tension there. Your mid-back, your lower back. The muscles along your spine that hold you upright. They might be tired. They might be sore. Notice your belly, your stomach. This might feel tight or nauseous. You might feel empty or full or sick. Notice your sides, your waist, the muscles there. Your lower back where it meets your hips. This is another place we hold stress. Notice any tension or discomfort. Your pelvis, your hips, these large joints that carry you. Your buttocks where you're resting on the bed. Notice the contact between your body and the mattress. Your thighs, the long muscles of your upper legs. Are they tense? Are they heavy? Are they restless with the need to move? Your knees, your calves, the muscles that run down the backs of your lower legs, your shins, your ankles, and your feet. Your poor feet that have walked you through this terrible day. Are they cold? That's common. Notice your heels, the arches of your feet, the tops of your feet, your toes, all the way to the tips of your smallest toes. You've just visited your whole body. You've brought awareness to every part. You don't have to change anything or fix anything. Just notice. Your body is here with you, carrying you through this. Be gentle with it. Let me tell you what might have happened in the last day or 2 or 3. Because how your husband died, how you found out, those first hours and days, they matter. They're part of the story you're living now. Maybe you were with him when he died. Maybe you were holding his hand in a hospital room, or at home in your bed, or in a hospice facility. Maybe you watched him take his last breath. Maybe you felt the exact moment he left his body. Maybe the nurses were kind, or maybe they were clinical. Maybe there was family around, or maybe it was just you. Maybe in those last moments you told him you loved him, or maybe you couldn't speak. Maybe he was conscious until the end, or maybe he'd been unconscious for hours or days, and you talked to him, not knowing if he could hear. That moment when he died, when he went from alive to dead, that's a moment you'll carry forever. The before and after. The last time his heart beat, the last time he breathed. Everything changed in that instant, and you witnessed it. You were there for it. That's sacred, and that's traumatic, and that's both at once. Or maybe you weren't there. Maybe he died alone, in a hospital room or in an accident, and someone called you. Maybe you got a phone call that started with, "I'm sorry, but," or "There's been an accident," or "You need to come to the hospital." Maybe you knew from the tone of their voice before they said the words. Maybe you went numb immediately, or maybe you screamed. Maybe you remember the drive to the hospital, or maybe it's a blank space. Maybe you got there and saw his body, or maybe you never did. Maybe they asked if you wanted to see him, and you didn't know what to say. Finding out over the phone or from a police officer or a doctor. Finding out when you weren't there. That carries its own particular pain. You don't have that last moment. You don't have that goodbye. He died without you, and you have to live with that. You have to live with not being there. with not getting to say the things you would have said if you'd known. Maybe it was sudden, a heart attack while he was at work, or at home, or in the yard. Maybe he collapsed and someone called 911, and by the time you got there, he was already gone. Maybe you tried to do CPR, or maybe someone else did. Maybe you were told there was nothing anyone could have done, that it was instant, that he didn't suffer. People say that to comfort you, but it doesn't help. He's still gone. Sudden or slow, he's equally gone. Or maybe it was an accident, a car crash or a fall or something at work. Maybe the police came to your door and you knew before you opened it. Maybe someone called you from the scene. Maybe you had to identify his body. Maybe you had to answer questions about what he was doing or where he was going. Maybe there will be an investigation or an autopsy. Maybe the details are unbearable. Maybe you keep replaying it in your mind, imagining his last moments, wondering if he was scared or if it was quick. Maybe it was an illness you knew about. Maybe he'd been fighting cancer or heart disease or ALS or something else that gave you time but not enough time. Never enough time. Maybe he was in treatment for months or years. Maybe you were his caregiver, watching him decline, watching him lose abilities and independence and pieces of himself. Maybe toward the end, he wasn't the same person you married. Maybe he was in pain. Maybe you spent months wanting him to live and also wanting his suffering to end, feeling guilty for both desires. Maybe his death was expected. Maybe the doctors told you last week or yesterday that it was coming. Maybe you had hospice involved. Maybe you got to plan for it as much as anyone can plan for death. Maybe family came to say goodbye. Maybe you had those last conversations, said the important things, tried to prepare yourself. But you can't prepare for this. No amount of warning makes your husband's death acceptable. No amount of knowing it's coming makes him less dead. You're allowed to be devastated even if you knew it was coming. Or maybe it was suicide. Maybe your husband took his own life, and now you're living in a particular kind of hell. Grief mixed with shock and guilt and anger and confusion, wondering what you missed, what you could have done differently, how you didn't see it coming, knowing it wasn't your fault, but feeling responsible anyway, dealing with the stigma, the questions, the way people don't know what to say. This is a particular kind of widow's grief, complicated by trauma and unanswered questions. If this is your story, I want you to know you didn't fail him. You didn't kill him. His death is not your fault. And your grief is still grief. Your loss is still loss. However it happened, however you found out, those first hours were probably a blur. Maybe you remember every detail with painful clarity, or maybe you remember almost nothing. Maybe you had to make phone calls to family, to his work, to your work. Maybe you had to tell your children. Maybe you had to tell his parents and watch them shatter. Maybe people started showing up or calling or texting, and you didn't know how to respond. Maybe there were decisions to make immediately. About his body, about autopsy, about organ donation, about funeral homes. Maybe you had to answer questions when you could barely think. Maybe someone helped you, or maybe you did it alone. Maybe you moved through it on autopilot, functioning without feeling. And now, lying here in bed, it's all catching up to you. Maybe you went home to an empty house, or maybe people stayed with you, and you wish they hadn't. Maybe you wanted to be alone, or maybe You were terrified to be alone. Maybe you kept expecting him to walk through the door. Maybe you forgot for a moment and thought you should text him and then remembered. That moment of forgetting and then remembering, over and over. Each time is a new wound. Maybe today you had to start planning a funeral or memorial. Maybe you had to pick out a casket or an urn. Maybe you had to choose music and readings and decide who will speak. Maybe you had to think about money, about costs, about things that seem obscene to think about when your husband just died. Maybe you didn't know what he wanted because you never talked about this. Maybe you did know, and now you have to honor those wishes, even though every part of you wants to scream. The last day or two has been impossible. You've done impossible things. You've survived impossible moments. And now you're here in bed, and your body is trying to rest, but your mind won't stop going over everything. What happened? How it happened? What you did? What you said? What you didn't say? You keep reaching for your phone, wanting to call him or text him, and then remembering you can't. Let's breathe together again, because your nervous system is overwhelmed, because you're in shock, even if you don't feel like you're in shock, because breath is an anchor when everything else is chaos. In through your nose for a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep and slow, filling your lungs, filling your belly. Hold for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suspended there. And out through your mouth for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Long and releasing, letting go of what you can let go of. Again, in for 5. This breath is just for you. This breath is supporting you. Hold for 5. You're here. You're alive. Out for 7. You're doing the best you can, and that's enough. One more cycle. In for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold for 5. Out for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Feel your body settling even just slightly. Now bring attention to your chest and heart and throat, the places where grief lives most intensely in your body. Notice your throat first, that tightness, that feeling of something stuck there, that constriction. Breathe gently into your throat, not forcing anything, just bringing breath and awareness there. See if you can soften your throat even a millimeter. The front of your throat, the sides, the back where it meets your neck. If it stays tight, that's okay. Just notice it with kindness. Move to your chest now, your rib cage. Feel it expanding and contracting with breath. Notice the muscles between your ribs. Notice your breastbone. And beneath that, your heart. Your aching, breaking, still beating heart. Place your hand over your heart if you want to. Feel it beating beneath your palm. This heart that loved your husband. This heart that loves him still. This heart that has to keep beating even though he's gone. Feel the physical sensation there, the heaviness, the pressure, the sharp pain, or the dull ache. Don't try to change it. Just acknowledge it. Your heart is broken and your heart is still working. Both are true. Notice your lungs, these organs that keep inflating and deflating, bringing oxygen to your blood, keeping you alive. They don't ask permission. They just keep going. Notice the back of your rib cage where it meets your spine. Notice your sides where your ribs wrap around. All of it holding your heart and lungs, holding your grief, holding you together. Breathe into your chest one more time, a full, deep breath that expands your ribcage completely. Hold it there for a moment. Feel the fullness and release it slowly, imagining just a tiny bit of the tightness releasing with it. Not the grief. The grief stays, but maybe a little of the constriction. Maybe. Now let me talk about what you've actually lost. Because people will say, I'm sorry for your loss, and they mean well, but they don't understand the fullness of what loss means. They don't understand that you didn't lose one thing. You lost everything. You lost your husband, the physical person, his body, his presence, his voice, his laugh, his way of moving through space. You'll never touch him again, never hold his hand, never feel his arms around you, never kiss him, never see his face across from you at dinner, never watch him sleep, never hear him come home. That physical absence is staggering. The space where a person used to be is so much more noticeable than the person ever was. You lost your identity. You were a wife, and now you're a widow. That's not just a word. That's a fundamental shift in who you are. Your whole adult life, or at least years of it, you were someone's wife. You were part of a pair. You were his wife. He was your husband. That was woven into how you thought about yourself, how you introduced yourself, how you moved through the world. And now, that's gone. You're not a wife anymore. You're a widow. And you don't know how to be that. You don't know who you are as a singular person instead of half of a pair. You lost your daily life, all the routines and habits and patterns you built together, the way you'd check in with each other during the day, the texts or calls, the way you'd tell him something funny that happened, or ask his opinion on something small, the way you'd coordinate schedules and make plans, the evening routines, making dinner together, or one of you cooking while the other did something else, watching TV together, talking about your days, the bedtime routine, brushing teeth together, getting into bed, maybe reading or talking, or just being near each other. All of that is gone. Your daily life doesn't make sense without him. You lost your future, all the plans you made together, near-term plans and far-off dreams, that trip you were planning, that house project you were going to do, retirement plans, growing old together, being grandparents together if you don't have grandchildren yet, or being grandparents together for years if you do. You lost decades of future that you thought you had. You thought you had time. You thought you'd have more years, more memories, more ordinary days together. You don't. The future you imagined is gone. You lost your co-parent if you have children, the person who shared that load, who knew the kids like you do, who made decisions with you. Now you have to parent alone while also grieving, and your kids are grieving too, and you have to hold them up while you're falling apart. You have to be strong for them when you have no strength left. That's impossible, and you have to do it anyway. You lost your financial partner, the person who contributed income or managed bills or made financial decisions with you. Now you have to figure out money alone. You have to deal with insurance and Social Security and bank accounts and all of it, while your brain is barely functioning. People will tell you not to make big decisions for a year, but some decisions can't wait. Some things have to be handled now. You lost your person, the one who knew you best, the one you could tell everything to, the one who'd seen you at your worst and loved you anyway, the one who got your references and remembered your stories and knew your history. You lost the only person who shared your life, who witnessed your days, who knew what your regular life looked like. You lost the person you'd process things with, celebrate with, complain to, dream with. You lost your default companion, your automatic plus one, your emergency contact, your next of kin. You lost your sexual partner if you had that kind of relationship. The intimacy and touch and connection. The familiar body you knew so well, the comfort of physical closeness. You lost being desired, being chosen, being wanted. That loss is real too, even if people don't talk about it, even if it seems trivial compared to everything else. It's not trivial. It's part of the enormous loss. You lost your sense of safety. If your husband died suddenly, you learned that terrible things can happen without warning, that life can change in an instant, that the people you love can be here and then gone. The world feels dangerous now. Everything feels precarious. If your husband died from illness, you learn that bodies fail, that people suffer, that sometimes there's nothing medicine can do. That's terrifying in a different way. Either way, you don't feel safe anymore. You lost the person who would have helped you through this, the person you would have called, would have talked to, would have processed this with. Except the loss you're processing is him. He's not here to help you survive his death. You have to do this without the person you most need. And the feelings about all this loss are complicated. You might feel sad, devastated, shattered. That's obvious. But you might also feel angry, furious that he left you, furious that he died, furious at the unfairness. You might be angry at him even though it's not his fault. You might be angry at yourself for things you did or didn't do or say. You might be angry at doctors or God or the universe or other people who still have their husbands. You might feel guilty. Guilty about things you said or didn't say. Guilty about times you fought or weren't kind. Guilty about feeling relieved if there's any relief. Guilty that you're alive and he's not. Guilty about anything and everything because grief and guilt are close companions. You might feel afraid, terrified of the future, terrified of being alone, terrified of financial insecurity or practical challenges, terrified that you'll forget him or that the pain will never lessen, terrified of the empty space ahead of you. Fear is so loud in early grief. You might feel numb, like you're watching yourself from outside your body, like this is happening to someone else, like you can't quite connect to any feeling at all. Numbness is protective. Your psyche gives you numbness when feeling everything would overwhelm you completely. You might feel relief if he'd been sick or suffering, relief that he's not in pain anymore, relief that the vigil is over, that the waiting and dreading are done, relief that you can stop being a caregiver, if that's what you were. And then guilt about the relief. But relief and grief can coexist. Both can be true. Both are allowed. You might feel lonely, so lonely. The loneliness of the empty bed and the empty house and the person who should be here and isn't. The loneliness of being the only person who misses this specific person in this specific way. Other people grieve him too, but not like you do. Your loss is singular. You might cycle through all these feelings in minutes. Sad, then angry, then scared, then numb, then sad again. That's normal in grief. There's no order to it. No stages you move through neatly. Just chaos. And people don't know what to say. They mean well, but they say things that don't help. They say he's in a better place, or everything happens for a reason, or God needed another angel, or at least he's not suffering, or at least you had good years together, or he wouldn't want you to be sad, or you're so strong, or let me know if you need anything. None of that helps. None of that addresses the reality that your husband is dead and you're devastated, and there's no silver lining that makes that okay. You don't care if he's in a better place. You want him here. There's no reason that makes this acceptable. You don't feel strong. You feel shattered. And you don't know what you need, so let me know if you need anything is an impossible instruction. Some people will show up. Some people will bring food or send cards or sit with you or handle practical things. Some people will surprise you with their kindness and presence. Those people are gifts. And some people will disappoint you. People you thought would be there won't be. They'll be uncomfortable with your grief. They'll avoid you. They'll say the wrong things. They'll expect you to be okay too soon. They'll move on while you're still drowning. That hurts. That's another loss on top of the loss. This is hard, even if you knew it was coming, even if you had time to prepare, even if he was sick for a long time, even if you thought you were ready. You weren't ready. Nobody's ready. Knowing death is coming doesn't make the death easier. It just means you've been living with dread, and now you're living with loss. This is hard, even if your marriage was complicated, even if there were problems, even if you were angry with him sometimes, or frustrated or disappointed. You can love someone and struggle with them. You can grieve someone and still carry hurt or anger or ambivalence. Complex feelings are still feelings. Complex grief is still grief. This is hard no matter how he died, sudden or expected, peaceful or traumatic, young or old. Every widow's grief is legitimate. Every loss deserves to be mourned. You're allowed to fall apart. You're allowed to be a mess. You're allowed to not be okay. This is one of the worst things that can happen to a person, and it happened to you. Your husband died. You're allowed to be devastated. Let's breathe again because your body needs it. Because in the midst of all this emotional overwhelm, your body needs oxygen and regulation and care. Breathe in through your nose slowly for 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Longer than before. Really filling yourself completely. Feel your belly expand. Feel your chest rise. Feel the air in your lungs. Hold it for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale through your mouth for 8 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Even longer, emptying completely, releasing tension with the breath. Again, in for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your breath is supporting you right now. It's giving your body what it needs to function. Hold for 4 and out for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. With this exhale, see if you can soften just a little. Not letting go of the grief, just releasing some physical tension. One more, in for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're breathing. You're here. You're surviving this first night. Hold for 4, out for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're doing this. You're getting through these minutes, these hours. Now let's give your body some more attention. Let's release some of the tension in your shoulders and jaw and hands because these places hold so much stress and they need some gentleness. Start with your shoulders. Notice where they are right now. Are they up near your ears? Are they tight and hard? Take a breath in and pull your shoulders up even higher, up toward your ears. Hold them there. Feel the tension intensify, and then release. Drop them. Let them fall. Repeat that. Breathe in, shoulders up, hold, and release. Drop them. One more time. Up, hold, and let them drop completely. Now notice your shoulder blades on your back. Can you draw them together slightly? Pull them back toward your spine. Hold for a moment. Feel the stretch in your chest, and then release. Let them settle into a neutral position. Notice if that feels any different. Move to your jaw now. This is where so many of us hold tension without realizing it. Open your mouth wide as you can. Feel the stretch, hold it open, and then close it, but don't clench. Let your teeth rest slightly apart. Let your tongue be soft in your mouth. Notice your jaw joints, those hinges near your ears. Can they be loose? Can your jaw be heavy? You might not be able to release all the tension there, and that's okay. Just bring awareness to it. Your face. Scrunch up your whole face. Squeeze your eyes shut. Wrinkle your nose. Purse your lips. Make your face as tight as possible. Hold it, and then release everything. Let your face be soft. Let your forehead be smooth. Let your eyes be gently closed. Let your mouth be relaxed. Notice if that brings any relief at all. Your hands now. Make fists, tight fists. Squeeze your hands closed. Feel your fingernails pressing into your palms. Tighten more. And then release. Open your hands completely. Stretch your fingers wide. And then let them rest in whatever position is comfortable. Turn your palms up if you want to. Let your hands be open and soft. These hands that have been working so hard, doing so much, holding on so tight. Let them rest now. Roll your wrists gently. Small circles one way, then the other way. Move your ankles the same way. Little circles, keeping movement in your body. And then let everything settle again. Scan through your body one more time. Notice if anything shifted. Notice what's still tense. Don't judge it. Don't try to force anything. Just notice with compassion. Your body is doing the best it can. Tomorrow is coming. The sun will rise whether you want it to or not. You'll have to face your first full day as a widow. Your first day of waking up to this reality, getting through hours, functioning somehow. Tomorrow morning, you'll wake up, and there will be that split second before you remember. That fraction of a moment where the world is still normal. And then you'll remember. He's dead. Your husband is dead. That remembering will hit you like a wave. It will take your breath away. Every morning for a while. That's how it will be. Wake up, forget, remember, break again. You'll have to get out of bed even though you don't want to. You'll have to go through the motions of being alive, brushing your teeth, maybe eating something even though food tastes like nothing, maybe showering even though you can't remember when you last did. There will be phone calls and emails and texts, more people to notify, more condolences to receive, more "I'm so sorry" and "let me know if you need anything," and "he was such a good man." You'll have to respond or decide not to respond. You'll have to figure out who needs to know and who you can tell later. There might be funeral arrangements to finalize, places to go, people to meet with, decisions to make. You'll have to talk about things like burial or cremation, about service details, about obituaries and death certificates, and so many unbearable practical matters. You'll have to do this while barely able to think straight. You might have help, or you might feel very alone in it. You might function on autopilot, or you might break down repeatedly. Both are okay. If you have children, you'll have to parent them through their grief while drowning in your own. You'll have to see their pain and not be able to fix it. You'll have to find words to explain the unexplainable. You'll have to decide what they need from you and somehow provide it, even though you have nothing left to give. If you work, you'll have to decide about work. Some jobs give bereavement leave, some don't. Some people throw themselves into work as a distraction. Some can't function at all. You'll have to figure out what you need and what's possible, and those might not be the same thing. People will want to help. Some will show up with food. Let them. You need to eat even if you don't feel hungry. Some will offer specific help. If you can think of what you need, tell them. If you can't, that's okay too. Some will just want to be present. That might feel good or might feel suffocating. You're allowed to want company, and you're allowed to want solitude. You're allowed to want different things at different times. This week will be a blur. There will be the funeral or memorial service. You'll have to stand up in front of people and accept their sympathy. You'll have to hear stories about your husband. You'll have to be publicly bereaved. That's exhausting. That's performing grief when you're living grief. And after the service, there might be a reception, and you'll have to be present for that too, making small talk while you're shattered. And then, after the funeral, people will go back to their lives. They'll go home to their spouses and their regular routines. And you'll be here, in the aftermath, in the terrible quiet after everyone leaves. That might be the hardest part. When the acute crisis is over and everyone else moves on, and you're still living in the wreckage. This month, you'll have to start figuring out the practical realities. You'll have to deal with his belongings, his clothes in the closet, his things around the house, his car, his tools, his collections, his everything. You don't have to do this right away. You can leave his things exactly as they are for as long as you need to. You can sleep in his shirt and not wash it because it still smells like him. You can leave his coffee cup on the counter. You can keep his shoes by the door. There's no timeline for this. But eventually, you'll have to handle things like insurance and benefits and accounts. You'll have to notify banks and credit card companies and utilities. You'll have to retitle things and remove his name from things and update your status from married to widowed on forms that make you check a box. Every piece of paperwork will be a reminder that he's gone. You'll have to figure out finances, whether you can afford your house or your current life, whether you need to go back to work or work more, whether there's life insurance or savings, or if things are going to be very difficult financially. This is terrifying. This adds practical fear on top of emotional devastation. The first month, you'll experience all the firsts. The first time you sleep through the night, if you do. The first time you laugh and then feel guilty for laughing. The first time you forget for a moment and reach for your phone to tell him something. The first time you go somewhere you used to go together. The first time you eat at your table alone. Every first is brutal. Every first reminds you he's not there. And people will say, be patient with yourself and take it one day at a time. And there's no right way to grieve. And those things are true, but not helpful because you don't have a choice. You can't not be patient with yourself. You can't take it more than one day at a time. You can't grieve any way except the way you're grieving. The truth is, early widowhood is survival. You're not healing yet. You're not adjusting yet. You're not accepting yet. You're just surviving. You're just getting through each day, each hour, sometimes each minute. That's all you can do when that's enough. The path forward for a widow is not linear. It's not a matter of going through stages of grief in order and coming out okay on the other side. It's messy and unpredictable and longer than anyone wants it to be. In the early days and weeks, you're in acute grief. Everything is raw. Everything hurts. You might cry constantly, or you might not cry at all. You might not sleep, or you might sleep too much. You might not eat, or you might eat without tasting. You might be frantic with activity, or paralyzed by inaction. There's no right way to be in acute grief. You're just in it. Some widows describe it like being underwater. Everything is muffled and slow, and you can't breathe properly. Some say it's like moving through fog. You can't see clearly. You're disoriented. You don't know where you're going. Some say it's like living in a parallel universe where everything looks the same, but nothing is the same. Your house looks like your house, but it's not your house anymore without him in it. After the first weeks or months, the acute crisis feeling might fade a little. Not the grief. The grief stays, but the sense of emergency, the adrenaline that's been keeping you functioning, that starts to wear off. And that can actually make things harder. You realize this is real. This is permanent. He's not coming back. This is your life now. You'll have to rebuild an identity. You'll have to figure out who you are as a widow, as a singular person, as yourself without him. That's long, hard work. You'll have to relearn how to be in the world, how to go places alone, how to make decisions alone, how to fill time alone, how to be okay with being alone, or admit that you're not okay with it. You'll have to decide what to do with your wedding ring. Some widows wear it forever. Some move it to their right hand. Some put it away. Some buy a new ring to represent their widowhood. There's no rule. You'll figure out what feels right. You'll have to navigate other people's discomfort with widowhood. People will try to set you up or tell you you'll find someone else. That might be someday, and it might not. But it's not now. You're not ready. You might never be ready. You might be ready sooner than you expect. All of that is okay. You might feel your husband's presence sometimes. That's common. You might hear his voice or feel him near you or dream about him so vividly it feels real. Some people find comfort in that. Some people find it painful. Some people don't experience it at all. All of that is normal. You might talk to him, out loud or in your head. You might keep him updated on your life, tell him things that happen, ask him questions. You might visit his grave regularly or never. You might keep his ashes with you or scatter them. You might create rituals to honor him, or you might not. There's no right way to maintain a relationship with someone who's dead. The grief will change shape over time. It won't disappear, but it will become more manageable. The waves will still come, but maybe less frequently or with less intensity. You'll have good days and bad days. You'll have moments of joy and moments of crushing sadness, sometimes in the same hour. That's what grief looks like long term. It integrates into your life. It becomes part of you. You will survive this, not because you're strong, not because you're brave, but because you don't have a choice. Because time passes, whether you want it to or not. Because your body keeps you alive even when your heart is shattered. You'll survive because survival is what happens when you keep breathing day after day. It's not noble. It's not inspirational. It's just what happens. You'll survive because other widows have survived. Because terrible loss is part of the human experience, and humans keep going. You'll join the club nobody wants to join, the community of people who've lost their person. They'll understand in ways others can't. They'll know. Healing doesn't mean forgetting him or betraying him or moving on as if he never existed. Healing means learning to carry the loss, learning to live with the hole he left, learning to build a life around the grief instead of letting the grief consume everything. That takes time. That takes years, not months. Be patient with the process, even though you hate the process. And meaning might come eventually, or it might not. Some widows find purpose in their loss. They start foundations or support groups. They advocate for causes. They feel their husband's death led them to something meaningful. That's valid if it happens. But it's also valid if it doesn't. If your husband's death is just loss, just pain, just absence. If there's no redemptive arc. If you don't become a better person, or find a silver lining, or learn important lessons. Some losses are just losses. Some deaths don't make sense and don't lead anywhere. You're allowed to live in that truth, if that's your truth. What matters is that you survive however you need to survive. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to scream, scream. If you need to stay in bed, stay in bed. If you need to throw yourself into work or activity, do that. If you need therapy, get therapy. If you need medication, take medication. If you need to talk about him constantly, find people who will listen. If you need to not talk about it, that's okay too. Whatever gets you through. Let's breathe one more time, because you've been listening to all of this heavy truth, and your nervous system needs support, because breath is the most basic form of self-care, because you're still here, and still breathing, and that matters. Breathe in deeply through your nose for a count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fill yourself completely. Feel your lungs expanding, your belly rising, your ribcage widening. Hold for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Suspended. Present. And out through your mouth for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Long and slow and releasing. Again. In for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This breath is for you. This breath is nourishing you. Hold for 6. Out for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Notice if you feel any different after this breath, any calmer, any more settled. One final cycle. In for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're breathing. You're here. You're surviving your first night as a widow. Hold for 6. Out for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've made it through this hour. You can make it through this night. You're going to be okay. Not today, not tomorrow, Not for a long time, but eventually. Eventually, you'll have moments where the pain is less sharp. Eventually, you'll sleep through the night again. Eventually, you'll laugh without guilt. Eventually, you'll rebuild a life that has meaning, even though it's not the life you wanted. But that's not tonight. Tonight is just survival. Tonight is just getting through. Tonight is breathing and resting and letting time pass. Tomorrow morning will come. The sun will rise. You'll wake up and face another day. It will be hard. So hard. But you'll do it. You'll get out of bed because you have to. You'll put one foot in front of the other because that's what people do. You'll survive tomorrow the same way you're surviving tonight. One breath at a time, one moment at a time. You're not alone in this. Thousands of women become widows every day. It's a terrible club, but it's a real community. Other widows know what you're feeling. They know the specific pain of losing your husband. They know the empty bed and the shattered future and the identity crisis. You're not alone, even though you feel alone. Your husband was real. Your love was real. Your life together was real. His death doesn't erase any of that. He existed. He mattered. He loved you, and you loved him. That's true, no matter what else is true about your relationship. That love is still real, even though he's gone. You'll carry him with you, in your memories, in your heart, in the ways he changed you and shaped you. He's part of you now in a different way. Not the way you want, not the way you'd choose. But he's not completely gone as long as you remember him. Now let's settle your body for rest. Let's go through your entire body one more time with the intention of release and relaxation. Not because we can fix the grief with relaxation, but because your body needs rest, even when your mind won't stop. Because sleep might come if we create the conditions for it. Start at the very top of your head, the crown. Feel the skin there. Is there any tension? Any tightness? Imagine it softening. Just slightly. Just a hint. Move down to your scalp. All the skin that covers your skull. Notice it. Breathe into it. Invite it to soften. Your forehead now, this wide expanse of skin that furrows with worry. Smooth it out gently. Let the lines relax. Let your forehead be soft and wide and open. Your eyebrows, let them rest in a neutral position. Not raised, not drawn together, just resting. Your eyes underneath your closed eyelids, your poor, tired eyes. Let them rest back into their sockets. Let them be heavy. Let them be still. They don't have to look at anything right now. They can just rest. Your cheeks, soft and full. Your nose, the bridge, the nostrils, the tip. Breathe gently through your nose and notice the air moving. Your upper lip, your lower lip. Are they pressed together? Can they be soft? Can there be a little space between them? Your mouth, your tongue inside your mouth. Is it pressed against your teeth? Against the roof of your mouth? Let it rest down, soft and loose. Your jaw. We've visited this before, but let's come back. Your jaw does so much work. Chewing, talking, holding tension. Can it rest now? Can your teeth part slightly? Can the joint be loose? The hinges where your jaw meets your skull, near your ears. Soften there. Your ears themselves, the outer ears, the inner ears, your earlobes. Nothing to do there. Just notice them. Your whole face is softer now than it was. Still holding grief, still holding pain, but maybe slightly softer. Your throat, the front of your throat where you swallow, the sides, the back of your throat, this channel that feels constricted with unshed tears or unscreamed screams. Breathe gently here. Imagine the tissue softening, the muscles releasing. Your throat is safe. You're safe. The back of your neck where your skull meets your spine. That tender place. Notice it. Soften it if you can. Your neck holding up your head, the sides of your neck, the front. All those muscles and tendons working constantly. Let them rest now. Your head is supported by the pillow. Your neck doesn't have to work so hard right now. Your shoulders, these faithful carriers of burden. We've worked with them before, but let's give them more attention. Your right shoulder, the top of the shoulder, the front, the back, the place where your arm connects. Roll your shoulder back slightly. Let it drop. Let it be heavy. Your left shoulder now, same thing. Top, front, back, connection point. Roll it back, drop it. Let both shoulders be heavy and low and loose. Down your right arm now, your upper arm, the bicep in front, the tricep in back. Let that whole upper arm be heavy. Your elbow, the joint, your forearm, the two bones running from elbow to wrist. All the muscles there. Let your arm be completely relaxed. Your right wrist. Roll it gently if you want. Your right hand. The palm. The back of the hand. Each finger. Thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky. All the way to the tips. Let your right hand rest completely open or closed. Whatever feels natural. Your left arm now. Upper arm heavy. Elbow soft. Forearm relaxed. Left wrist. Left hand, palm back, each finger to the tips. Both arms now are resting. Both hands are still. Nothing to hold, nothing to grasp. Just resting. Come to your chest, your breastbone in the center, your ribs spreading out from there, protecting your heart and lungs. Feel them moving with your breath, rising and falling, your heart beating steadily underneath. Thank your heart for continuing to beat, even though it's broken. Your lungs expanding and contracting. Thank them for breathing, even when breathing feels hard. Your upper back between your shoulder blades, this place that gets so tight. Imagine breathing into that space. Imagine the muscles there, softening. Imagine space between your vertebrae, your mid-back, the curve of your spine. Notice if you're arching or if you're rounded. Find a neutral position that feels comfortable. Your lower back, another place that holds so much tension. The muscles on either side of your spine. Can they let go even a little? Your belly, your stomach and intestines and all the organs there. You might be holding tension in your belly. You might be pulling it in. Can you let it soften? Can you let your belly be round and full and relaxed? No one is looking. You don't have to hold anything in. Let your belly rise and fall with breath. Your sides, your waist, the muscles there connecting front and back. Soften them. Your pelvis, this wide bowl of bone that holds organs and connects your spine to your legs. Notice your pelvis, the front, the back, the sides, your hips, these large, important joints. Are they tight? Are they clenched? Invite them to soften. Your buttocks, the large muscles you're lying on, are they tense? Can you let them be soft? Your groin and genitals. Notice this area without judgment. Just notice. Breathe into it. Let any tension there release. Your right leg now. Your right thigh. This large, strong part of your body. The front, the back, the inner thigh, the outer thigh. Let the whole thing be heavy and still. Your right knee, the kneecap, the joint underneath. Soften here. Your right calf. The back of your lower leg. The muscle there that helps you walk. Let it rest. The front of your lower leg. Your shin. The bone there. Notice it. Your right ankle. Roll it gently one way, then the other. Your right foot. The heel. The arch. The top of the foot. The sole. Each toe. Big toe. Second toe. Middle toe. Fourth toe. Pinky toe. All the way to the tips. Let your right foot be completely relaxed. Your left leg now. Left thigh heavy. Front, back, inner, outer. All of it soft and still. Left knee. Let the joint be loose. Left calf. The muscle relaxed. Left shin. The bone supported. Left ankle. Roll it if you want. Left foot. Heel. Arch. Top. Sole. Each toe to the tips. Both legs now are resting. Both feet are still. Your whole body, from crown to toes, has been visited. You've brought attention and gentleness to every part. Your body is here, holding you, carrying you through this impossible time. Be gentle with it. Appreciate it. Let it rest now. Breathe. Just breathe. In and out. Nothing fancy, just natural breath. Notice it coming and going. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest and belly. That's life. That's the most basic function. You're alive. You're breathing. That's enough for tonight. Rest now. Let your eyes stay closed. Let your body stay still. Let your mind wander if it needs to wander. You don't have to force sleep. You don't have to empty your mind. You don't have to do anything. Just rest. Just be here, in this bed, in this moment, breathing. You're safe right now. In this moment, nothing is required of you. You don't have to make decisions. You don't have to talk to anyone. You don't have to do anything. You can just be. You can just exist. That's allowed. That's enough. The night will pass. Morning will come. But that's not now. Now is just this moment, this breath, this soft darkness, this quiet, this rest. Let yourself be held by the night. Let the darkness be gentle. Let time pass without you doing anything to make it pass. Your husband is gone. That's true. That will be true tomorrow and the day after and the day after that. You can't change it. You can't fix it. You can't make it not real. So for now, just rest. Just breathe. Let yourself stop fighting for a little while. Let yourself stop thinking for a little while. Let yourself just be. Sleep might come. It might not. Either way is okay. Rest is still rest, even if you don't sleep. Lying here quietly, breathing gently, letting your body be still. That's rest. That's valuable. That's what your body needs. You're going to survive this. Not because you want to, not because you're trying to, but because survival is what happens when you keep breathing. When you make it through one night, and then another night, and then another. You'll survive because that's what people do. We survive. We keep going. Not because we're strong, but because we're alive. And life continues. You've made it through this hour. You've made it to this moment. You can make it through this night. One breath at a time. One moment at a time. You're doing it. You're already doing it. Let yourself rest now. Let yourself drift. Let your thoughts slow down. Let your breath deepen. Let your body settle into the bed. Let the darkness hold you. Let the night pass. You can rest. It's okay to rest. You have permission to rest. You don't have to stay alert. You don't have to keep vigil. You don't have to hold on so tightly. You can soften. You can let go a little. You can rest. Sleep is welcome if it comes. Let it come. Don't push it away. Don't be afraid of it. Sleep is rest. Sleep is repair. Sleep is a temporary escape from the pain. That's a gift. Take it if it comes. Breathe. Keep breathing. Your breath is your anchor. Your breath is your life. In and out. In and out. So simple. So essential. Just keep breathing. You're going to make it through this night. You're going to wake up tomorrow. You're going to face the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that. You're going to keep living even though your husband died. You're going to keep breathing. You're going to survive. Not because you're brave, not because you're strong, but because you don't have a choice. Because life continues. Because time passes. Because you're here and you're alive, and that's what alive people do. They survive. Rest now. Let yourself rest. You've done enough for today. You've survived this far. That's enough. You're enough. Just rest. Breathe. Sleep. Rest. Let go. Soften. Be here. Be safe. Be held. You're going to be okay. Not now. Not soon. But eventually. Eventually. Until then, just breathe. Just rest. Just survive this night. Sleep now. Rest now. Let the night hold you. Let the darkness be gentle. Let your body rest. Let your mind quiet. Let yourself drift. You're safe. You're here. You're breathing. That's enough. That's everything. Just breathe. Just rest. Just be. Sleep. Rest. Breathe. You're going to make it. You're surviving. You're here. Rest now. Sleep now. Just rest. Just breathe. Just be. You're okay. You're going to be okay. Rest now. Sleep. Breathe. Rest.